Just after the spy balloon controversy, the US has banned more than 6 Chinese companies in response to Chinese illegal surveillance programs. A move that has hampered Chinese economical sustenance, threatening to make things worse, and who knows, this might be the move that redefines the course of history forever. But before we step in, we want to take you guys back to where it all started. So make sure you press the like and subscribe button and press the notifications icon so that you stay updated with what's happening around the globe. Just weeks before, the world was shocked when a Chinese spy balloon was caught hovering over the US airspace. On noticing, the US agencies wasted no time in turning the spy balloon into ashes by ordering a US Raptor jet to bring the threat down. The shock came when it was noticed that this wasn't the only spy balloon hovering over the area. Multiple states acknowledged a similar object in the surrounding airspace. But on the other side, the Chinese officials denied the reports of a spy balloon and termed it a weather surveillance balloon that had gone off course and was supposed to be performing some sort of research work. After days of backlash between the two superpowers, the response from the Pentagon was a strategic one, the response that was awaited and which targets China's most important entities. The Biden administration has imposed a permanent ban on 6 Chinese aviation companies. Speaking of the details, the banned companies will not be allowed to use any sort of US technology, and apparently, those companies were heavily reliant on US services for their manufacturing. The move is likely to further escalate the diplomatic row between the US and China sparked by the balloon. The US Bureau of Industry and Security says the 6 entities were being targeted for their support to China's military modernization efforts, specifically the People's Liberation Army, or PLA. Aerospace programs including airships and balloons. Apart from the 6 companies, there are 28 trade groups that are in the blacklist. According to reports, these trade groups will not be allowed any access to US technology to operate. Among the better-known Chinese targets are BGI Research and BGI Tech Solutions, part of the BGI Group, the largest genomics research company in the country. The US is increasingly concerned that China could use groups such as BGI to obtain Americans' genetic data. The blacklistings are also a response to a range of other activities, including providing Pakistan with nuclear and missile technology, and supplying Myanmar and other Chinese groups with surveillance technology that enables repression and human rights abuses. Among the banned entities is Lungsun Technology, a chipmaker that originates in the state-backed Chinese Academy of Sciences. Lungsun's core technology is considered China's answer to Intel and ARM for chip design. The US also blacklisted 4Paradigm Technology, a group that specializes in artificial intelligence, and Inspur Group, which focuses on AI, cloud computing, and big data, for supporting the PLA's modernization drive. Over the past few weeks, US officials have expressed their concern over China's consideration of sending ammunition to Russia. The US also blacklisted DMT Trading, a company in Belarus, and Neotech Semiconductor in Taiwan, for helping Russia bolster its defense industry. Of course, the banning of these companies comes as a big blow to China, but this venture has brought the two superpowers against each other, and who knows, this might spark a greater conflict in the future. But the banning of these companies did not go unnoticed by the Chinese hierarchy. China has opposed the US's decision of imposing a long-term ban on some of the leading Chinese firms, and says that it will go to every extent in order to protect the legitimate rights of the companies. China is spending $143 billion to combat US moves to cut off its supply of semiconductor technology. The funds will be used to provide financial subsidies and incentives to help China's chipmakers develop and acquire semiconductor technology to withstand the US move. One of the most important measures the Communist Party seems to be planning is to target the much contested semiconductor industry, which is the foundation for almost all modern technologies. The United States has traditionally been a leader in the semiconductor industry, with many of the world's largest chip makers based in the country. However, in recent years, China has been investing heavily in its semiconductor industry and has been trying to challenge the US dominance in the sector. The competition between the US and China in the semiconductor industry has intensified in recent years, with both countries implementing policies to strengthen their respective positions. But now, China has started to invest heavily in its semiconductor industry in order to cater for the US-imposed bans. After the ban imposed by the Biden administration on some of the best-performing Chinese entities, Beijing seems to be noticing the economic turmoil it is likely to go into. But what happens next in the power balance between the two superpowers? Will the Chinese decision of investing heavily in its semiconductor industry make up for the losses it has endured? The answer lies in the future. After the ban was imposed on the 6 companies, it seems like the White House still has some tricks up its sleeve. After banning the 6 companies, the next move was what shocked the world and made Beijing rethink its policies. The White House is reportedly considering an executive order to ban U.S. investment into high-end Chinese tech, such as artificial intelligence, quantum computing, 5G, and advanced semiconductors. Although it's unclear whether or when such a rule might take effect, this decision was compounded by an executive order which bans tech companies to build their facilities in China, further escalating the already tense relationship between the two nations. The battle for technological superiority might undergo some critical junctures in the coming days, especially after the U.S. ban on Chinese entities. But one thing is for sure, both nations are willing to go the extra mile to attain the technological superiority that will redefine the course of history forever. The technological competition between the United States and China is shaping up to be one of the defining geopolitical struggles of our time. Both countries are vying for dominance in areas such as artificial intelligence, 5G technology, and quantum computing, among others. The stakes are high, as whoever wins this race will likely shape the future of the global economy and determine the balance of power in the world. On the one hand, the United States has long been the leader in technological innovation. Silicon Valley is home to some of the world's most successful tech companies, and American universities produce some of the brightest minds in science and engineering. The U.S. has also been a pioneer in developing new technologies, from the personal computer to the internet. On the other hand, China has been rapidly catching up in recent years. The country has made huge investments in research and development, and is home to a growing number of tech giants, such as Huawei and Tencent. China is also making significant strides in areas such as 5G technology and artificial intelligence, and is positioning itself as a leader in these fields. The competition between the US and China is not just about technological advancement, however. It also has significant geopolitical implications. The two countries are engaged in a wider struggle for power and influence, with China seeking to challenge American dominance in the world order. Technological leadership is seen as a key component of this struggle, as it is closely tied to economic and military power. The U.S. has taken steps to counter China's rise, such as imposing restrictions on Chinese tech companies and investing in research and development to maintain its technological edge. However, China has also responded with its own initiatives, such as the Made in China 2025 plan to develop high-tech industries. With the U.S. imposing bans on Chinese tech companies, Beijing seems to be determined to invest heavily in its own program so that it can break the shackles of U.S. dominance and come up with a hierarchy of its own. But who knows? The situation might get even worse in the future. Let us know about your views in the comments section below. Make sure you press the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you guys in the next video.